So in this lesson, I want to teach you a method of factoring trinomials completely. This will assume that the trinomial can be factored. But here's the thing, if you do this method successfully and if a trinomial cannot be factored, you'll at least discover that it can't be factored. And so the method I want to talk to you about is trial and error. Trial and error gets a lot of flack. It's not the most popular method, and the reason why is because it takes a lot of work. But there is a tremendous upside to the trial and error method. And the upside is this. For those people who do it and stick with it, those people actually become some of the best ones with the ability to factor. Factoring becomes almost second nature to them. Because the trial and error method, what it does is it basically shows you all possible combinations. And after you work that and work that and work that again and again and again, that begins to build into your mind all the different ways that you can break numbers and these variable expressions apart, and it makes you a deeper thinker in terms of the factoring process. And so if you stick with it, you're going to benefit from it greatly. That's just a fact. It's like training a muscle, just like anything else. You train that muscle well in a healthy way, that muscle's going to get stronger. And so what I want to do is I want to factor 6x squared minus 7x minus 5, which is a trinomial. And so this is the way it works. What you do is you find all the possible combinations of 6x squared and all the possible combinations of negative 5, numbers that multiply to negative 5, and then you write out all possible combinations of what it could be. And so you're reversing the FOIL process. And what I've done here is I've written out FOIL, F-O-I-L, and under the F and under the L, I've drawn this little lock symbol. And the lock symbol represents that in each case, when you break apart 6x squared, well, it's a guarantee. When you do the first part, the F part of FOIL, the first two products, 6x times x, you are guaranteed to get 6x squared. That is locked. That's an absolute certainty. And the same thing with the L part, the last two part of FOIL. When you break apart negative 5 into 1 times negative 5 and multiply them, you will get negative 5. And so the first term and the last term are locked. They're guaranteed. It's the inner and the outer part of FOIL that's not guaranteed, and so that's why those have the question marks. And so really the only thing we're concerned about in the trial and error method is to write out all possible combinations. And we don't even FOIL the whole thing out again because we're already guaranteed about the first two and the last two. The only parts we multiply out are the inner and the outer. And by doing the inner and the outer, we add those parts together and we see if we get the middle term. And the middle term that I want is negative 7x. So here are all the possible combinations that could be. But if any of them work, it's only going to be one of them that work. Okay? And so this is why trial and error is not popular, because it does take a lot of work. But among the methods I could teach you, again, I'm just going to sell it again, it is the most beneficial. So what are the combinations? 6x plus 1 times x minus 5. 6x plus 5 times x minus 1. 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 5. 2x plus 5 times 3x minus 1. 6x minus 1 times x plus 5. 6x minus 5 times x plus 1. 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 5, and 2x minus 5 times 3x plus 1. This exhausts all the possibilities. And so if this thing were not factorable, none of these would work. Absolutely none of them would work. But one of them will work. One of them will give me a middle term of negative 7. Can you see which one it is that's going to give me the middle term of negative 7? Well, let's just look at this first one. 1 times x, that's the inner part of FOIL, is x. And 6 times negative 5, 6x times negative 5, is negative 30x. And so what do I get when I take 1x plus negative 30x? I get negative 29x, which is not the middle term. That means the first one is out, not going to happen. Now what that means is that across the way, here I've got 6x minus 1, x plus 5. Notice the signs are just switched. I can now even cross that out, because if I do the inner and the outer, instead of negative 29x, I'll get positive 29x. And so, okay, here's a benefit for us. Here's something that's at least nice. With all this work, when you find one that doesn't work, you can also cross out the other version of that where the signs are flipped. And so that's at least nice. So by eliminating 1, you're actually eliminating 2. All right, let's do the next level. 5 times x is 5x, and 6x times negative 1 is negative 6x, and 5x and negative 6x is negative 1x. Doesn't work, so I cross that one out, and I can cross out the one across the way where the signs are flipped, because that would give me what? That would give me a positive x. Here, 1 times 3x is 3x. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Ho ho ho. 3x minus 10x is negative 7x. We found the winner. We cross this one out across the way, and we cross the rest of them out. So this factors, x squared minus 7x minus 5, factors into 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 5. That is the essence of trial and error. All right, I want you to try the following on your own. Use the trial and error method to factor completely. So take 8x squared minus 14x minus 15. I'm going to give you a hint. 8x squared can break down into 1x times 8x, or 2x times 4x. Negative 15 can break apart into 1 times negative 15, negative 1 times 15, 3 times negative 5, and negative 3 times 5. And then I want you to write out all possible combinations and see if you can find the combination that gives you the inner and the outer, giving you the middle term of negative 14x. I want you to pause the video, because in 3 seconds I'm going to scroll to the answer. So pause the video now. 1, 2, 3. Here's what you should get. It factors into 4x plus 3 times 2x minus 5. And that, in essence, is the trial and error method. God bless you, wherever you are today.